Good morning. I'm Metloop meteorologist Tom Crenshaw with your morning update for October 6th. The biggest news of the day is Hurricane Matthew as it threatens the east coast of Florida, but we'll get to that in just a minute. There's a strong low pressure system currently located in western Kansas, and the associated frontal boundary is already triggering severe weather in Oklahoma and Missouri this morning. As the day progresses, we'll see the severe thunderstorms fire off in a line from Texas extending all the way to the upper Midwest. These storms have the potential to produce hail up to 2 inches in diameter, as well as winds in excess of 60 miles an hour, and pose a slight risk of tornadoes. This low will move to the northeast quickly over the next 24 hours as energy moves northward into Canada. The system will bring noticeably cooler and drier air to much of the central and eastern United States into the weekend and some of next week. On any other day, this system would be the major focal point, but not today. So let's move to the main event. As everybody watching these videos knows, Hurricane Matthew is threatening the east coast of Florida. Matthew tracked as a Category 4 hurricane across Haiti and eastern tip of Cuba and left a tremendous amount of damage in its wake. But this track also weakened it slightly as it hit the higher elevations of those two islands and reduced its intensity to a Category 3. Now that Matthew has left the higher terrain and re-entered the warm waters around the Bahamas, it's beginning to strengthen again as it continues to move towards Florida. As of 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Matthew was located at 25.1 degrees north and 77.8 degrees west, about 180 miles southeast of West Palm Beach, Florida. Matthew currently has sustained winds of 140 miles per hour with a central pressure of 940 millibars and is a Category 4 hurricane, a major hurricane capable of producing catastrophic damage wherever it goes. There are many dangers associated with Matthew: hurricane force winds, tropical storm winds, storm surges, extreme levels of precipitation that will cause flooding, as well as the potential to spawn tornadoes with the outer bands all across the entire peninsula of Florida, even in areas not directly affected by the hurricane eye wall itself. If you are in an evacuation zone, please evacuate immediately, as Matthew is potentially a catastrophic event for the entire eastern coast of Florida. The entire east coast of Florida, Georgia, and much of South Carolina are under various watches and warnings, as hurricane-strength winds will extend inland up to 50 miles or more, depending upon the track of Matthew and how much it strengthens over the warm waters of the Gulf Stream. The official National Hurricane Center forecast has Matthew skirting the Florida coast for the next 36 hours and placing it offshore the Georgia-Florida border before turning it to the northeast. Several prediction models have Matthew actually making landfall as a Category 4 storm somewhere between Stewart and Cape Canaveral, Florida, in the early morning hours of Friday. A landfall would be the worst case scenario, as any landfall will bring the extreme winds associated with the hurricane eye wall onshore, as well as increased storm surge heights to the coastal areas of Florida. If Matthew skirts the coast, the damage won't be quite as devastating as it would be with landfall, but it still will be extensive, and the threat should be under no circumstances taken lightly. The prediction models have Matthew curving back to the south eventually, but here is one that shows where the GFS will predict Matthew coming ashore in Florida. This is also another HRR model that shows a predicted landfall of Matthew between Stewart and Cape Canaveral. The prediction models have Matthew curving back to the south, and then some of them show it coming back into South Florida as a tropical storm or depression. But expect changes in those solutions to occur. Currently, Matthew's eye can be seen moving through the Bahamas, and the radar signature indicates intensifying reflectivities. Intensifying reflectivities indicate that Matthew may be strengthening even further. Again, if you are in an evacuation zone, please evacuate immediately, as Matthew is potentially a catastrophic storm for the entire east coast of Florida. Stay tuned to metloop.com and visit our Facebook page for updates on Matthew throughout the day. Later today, our chief meteorologist, Rocco Colaci, will issue a supplemental newsletter for more detailed information on Hurricane Matthew. I'm Metloop meteorologist Tom Crenshaw, and this has been your morning update video.